NoFap and all that. Is that something that you practice? What is NoFap for people who don't know? Like,
yeah, so NoFap is just this practice where you resist from jerking off, and it has a lot of benefits. More energy. You have in my opinion, the biggest. So here's the thing: we got to step back a little bit. I think it's most important for guys where it's actually a problem. Like they're actually addicted to jerking off. Like if you feel like you have to do it when you're bored, you do it like every single day. Yeah. Then NoFap is going to be extremely beneficial to you. But
when does an addiction start? Like how many faps per week, bro? Like what would you say is like what?
Like, well, that's when you have to be a little introspective and see. Yeah. It's different for every person. For me, myself, I rarely do it. I do it sometimes though. Like if I have trouble sleeping and you know how if you get like bust a nut, you're like, I'm tired, I can pass out now. Yeah. Or like I'm like I'm super stressed out in the evening, I got a ton on my mind, like kind of like takes your mind off of it. Yeah. So if you're like that, then I don't think it's a problem. Yeah. And you're still like doing your other shit. You have your own passions.
Yeah, it's more intentional, right? Yeah. It's like more there's controlled space, right? It's like
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely something you need to. It's simply a non-negotiable for people where you're addicted, which is a lot of guys out there. Probably people watching this.
We're talking to you, Jimmy. We're talking to you.
Is this advice to like everyone too? For example, I was in Memphis. I was at a bar, and one of my best friends is Indian, and a couple of these Indian guys came up and they were asking me like, Jeff, how?
No, this isn't for Indians. Okay. No Indians. No, I'm kidding.
I won't accept Indians.
Nah, jerking doesn't discriminate on it. No, I'm kidding. No. Go ahead and continue.
So they come up to me and they're like, Jeff, how do you get girls? We've been living in America for 5 years and we've never kissed anyone. And it was like, sad to hear.
How old were they?
They were in college. So we're at a college bar.
Yeah, so prime time.
Prime time.
Yeah.
And never even kissed a person, Okay. And I'm like him. I've listened to a lot of people online that I admire that are saying, hey, jerking off gets you nowhere, literally. Yeah. You get nowhere. But what do you say to someone that can't get a girl or can't get a guy? I still stand by, I think it doesn't get you anywhere, but I don't know. If you have all that built up pressure, are you liable to fucking shoot up a school or something? You should probably block that out.
Here's the thing. I can talk about
that's like a fuck.
I can touch more on that. So we have orgasms, right? That's the main objective of jerking off. It's this huge release of dopamine and serotonin. And it comes from this reward system built into your body. It's a reward for going out and seducing a woman, right? Or man. And you get that it's these reward systems are what get you to do anything. You go out and you hunt a deer, you get dopamine, also you get fed, right? So if you didn't have these reward systems, nothing would get done, right? Yeah. So why would I do anything if there's no reward? Yeah. Everything we do to achieve something, right? So So when you're jerking off, you're giving yourself a false reward. So you didn't have to do anything, and it's a false satisfaction. So this is where it gets a little gray. It's like if you simply will never orgasm, well, so it kind of motivates you to go out there and seduce a woman. So because it's a reward, but like if you simply cannot,
because then you're gonna try harder and harder.
You're gonna try harder and harder. But then, like, I also get what you're saying. If that, like, it's just simply impossible for you, which I don't think it's impossible for everyone. I'm sure everybody's seen like very unlikely couples.
Sure, yeah, 100%, yeah.
But yeah, it's like at some point, it's like, do you just give in to your urges and flip open the laptop? It's like that's where I don't know the answer. I feel like at some point, like, sure. Or if you have some sort of horrible disease where no one wants to touch you, and no one will, leprosy or fucking whatever. It's like, you could probably jerk off.
Well, what I found for myself is like I talked to this guy, and he's a comedian. I did a show with him, and he was like we talked about that too, and he was like, and that's what I started doing now. Whereas like I was never a very sexual person, so I never did it a lot. But when I do it now, I use my imagination instead of watching something. And that for me has almost like, because I'm as a creative, I write stand-up comedy every day. Like, for me, that's almost like that feeds into my creativity. So I still feel like it's like a creative process involved as opposed to just like this quick reward with no real, input.
I understand completely.
And I feel that, and a lot of people say you have that dopamine release without that. So it prevents you from, you're also saying, right, jerking off all the time prevents you from being more motivated, not just in the pursuit of like partners, but also to work or get stuff done, or work out, right? Yeah, I see that. Because then you get that dopamine from, you know, finishing workout or something. You get like the same, a similar reward.
You know, I actually give that advice as well. If you're gonna jerk off, try to do it just by the power of your mind, because at that point it's...
What do you mean? Just by the power of your mind?
Yeah, just by imagination. That's what you
Without touching yourself?
No, you can touch...
Because that's the next fucking level. No. You just like...
Like, you know, I've heard of people doing that actually.
Wow.
But which seems very hard. But
dude, that's like fucking master sensei.
Yeah.
Then you're like an avatar. At that point, you're gonna fucking like master all the elements.
That's highly impressive though, if you could do that. But yeah. So I actually advise that to people who watch my videos. Like, if you're gonna do it, you know, try to do it just by the power of the mind. And, you know, you touch yourself too as well. But like, that's a bit of a meditation and a bit of a mind workout too. Because
I see that. Yeah.
That's, you know, that takes a lot. Like, to imagine a scenario or instance that could get you to orgasm. Watching porn doesn't do you any favors, I think.
Guys, take that home, kids. Take that home, kids. Yeah.